What do you call a marsupial with bad manners? A kangaroo. Rude. Welcome to the stream, my friends. I hope you're doing well tonight. I sound weird. I sound weird to myself. Hopefully I don't sound too weird on your end. I'll have my headphones on. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you for being here. As you can see, I'm clearly foggy-headed. but we'll be all right. I just woke up from a nap. So my only the vital centers of my brain are currently operational. The rest are still waiting for staff to clock in to work. We have Dead Zergling first in chat tonight, followed by Game and Fit and Sweesh, Lucent Jelly, Amazon Prime Directive, and Greg's Retro Channel. I think that's everybody. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. Thank you very much for being here, my friends. Hope your weekend is getting off to a good start. Let me just give my glasses here a quick wipe, and then we're going to play some Jump King. We're going to play a few hours of Jump King, and then after about 2 hours or so, when we get to a stopping point, we're going to switch over to the Mega Drive, and we're going to play Splatterhouse 2. It's been a long time since I played Splatterhouse 2, and I had previously been working on a challenge run of that game, and that's what we're going to dive back into. I'm going to start back on the grind for Deathless Splatterhouse 2. Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll even get the run real quick tonight, and we'll have time. If Splatterhouse 2 goes amazingly well, we might even play more Jump King at the end of the stream. That's not very likely. Alright, yes, these are much more useful now. Okay, let me see. Game of It says, I found the perfect samurai sword. I see cake also. Is that the first thing you're going to use the sword to slice? Zergling is on a 7-stream streak. Should be 104. But misfortune struck. Might get 100 again at this rate. I wouldn't complain if you did, Zergling. My sleep schedule is just completely destroyed. What is Jump King's favorite food? Spring chicken, Game and Fit says. Well done. I see clear skies in the webcam. I think you're good. What? Missed a few streams, Prime Directive says. Glad to be back. Very grateful to have you back. Hopefully you have been, hopefully you've been doing well in the time between. Maybe I won't loathe Splatterhouse 2 so much after so long, Zergling says. We can hope not. Told my family the Viking axe story made for a good laugh. Sounds like a good plan, Sweesh says. Right on. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I completely, the cake was the icon next to Sweesh. I see. Hattori Hanzo sword that's sharp enough to cut through paper or bamboo. Alright, I'm reading the chat too far disconnected from my own words. I forget what I said before I read the comments. EpiPen, welcome in. Back to Frown Town, welcome in. Just working, Prime Directive says. Speaking of, we need to see the battle axe. If I remember, maybe I'll grab it during the BRB. Yeah, we're back to the start. We're back to the very start. Does anyone else feel self-conscious about knowing the punchline to Frownie's jokes before he says it? This here is a mind you don't want to think like. Ew, hang on, I need to rearrange some stuff in my window here. That's better. I don't know, I don't know much about swords. All of my swords are made of wood. I took a couple fencing lessons in college. I didn't learn very much. I couldn't stick with it very long because there was a scheduling conflict, and I wasn't able to stick with them, sadly. That's about it. That's all I've got. It's one non-story. Not a fan of fencing, EpiPen says. Prefer kendo. Couldn't say. A wooden sword, EpiPen, wooden swords as in toy swords. As in, like, not Not a real sword, not like a practice sword for real swordsmanship or anything. I'm talking about toys that are carved out of wood. Essentially. They're sword shaped objects. How did I fall off of that? I'm more a fan of solid walls myself, Zergling says. I see what you did there. I'd like to, what's the rest of my thought? I'd like to install a fence around my yard one day. I feel like that's a task I could probably accomplish myself. If I just, purchase the materials. I think I'm just handy enough that I could probably build a fence. Yeah, a lot of work though. Famous last words. Where am I going? I'm not even paying attention to where I'm going. The bog is a terrible place to warm up. Putting the game down for the night when I'm down here is a really bad idea. Past Frownie really put us in a bad position by leaving us down here. I went to look for a decent pair of nunchucks. Turned out there are 4 states that don't allow you to buy real ones, and I happen to be in one of them, Game and Fit says. Looks like my nunchucking days are over before they begin. Huh. Uh-oh. At otaku stores, they sell wood swords and lattice kendo swords, which mitigate the pain if you get smacked with when sparring. If you need a blunt weapon that badly, just buy a metal bat. You can be Casey Jones instead of Michelangelo. Do they make metal cricket bats? Given the choice between Leonardo and D'Artagnan, Ninja Turtles every time, EpiPen says. I know I've heard that name, but I actually don't know who that character is. D'Artagnan. I sure hope this area isn't bogging you down. Oh, it is. It definitely is. Hopefully at some point I'll wake up. You can fall off that side? I don't think I even knew that was possible. Well, that was bad. It's gonna be a long stream, my friends. It's gonna be a long, painful stream tonight. Thank you, Zergling. I appreciate you looking out for me. I'm all right though. Hey, Arm, welcome in. Welcome to an agonizing night of Jump King. Excuse me, just a moment. All right. Yeah, it is super dark down here. It's not just in the capture, but it's on the actual TV too. It's really dark down here in the bog. We need a headlamp. I need the Legend of Zelda lantern. I've got some cheese tonight. Got some cheese to snack on. Let me grab that. It's my usual variety of cheese, but it's a different version of it. Usually I get a block of cheese that has been... I don't know the word for it. Like, this variety of cheese that I get, like, while it's being processed or developed or something, whatever they do to it, they tend to soak the blocks of cheese in some sort of liquid that sort of seeps in and like sort of crusts the edges of it and flavors it. The most popular variety is to soak it in a Merlot, but there's also like a bourbon variety and a Chardonnay variety, or sometimes they pack it in like dry seasonings, like black pepper or espresso powder or something like that. But this variety that I have here, I don't think I've ever tried before. It's a garlic and herb variety, which is strange to me because I'm used to the ones that have been soaked in some sort of alcoholic beverage, which tends to give them a sort of like I don't know, like usually the cheese is very dessert-like, and the garlic and herb seems to me as the more savory nature of that. I feel like this is going to be a very different experience. Oh yeah, this is my favorite cheese by far. This type here. It's a Satori Bella Vitano, and why? Because it's delicious. But anyway, let me get one. Let me get a piece that has a generous portion of the garlic and herb. I don't want to run away from it. And let's see what it's like. Yeah, so that's it's all right. I don't like it as much as the other varieties. It's got a very the garlic and herbs are very like uh like breadstick. It's got a very like Italian like pizzeria breadstick quality to it, or I guess cheese stick. The cheese is fantastic as always, but I'm definitely not used to it being so savory. Now, what's it say on the I don't have a label to read to you, EpiPen. Yeah, always zergling. The Bella Vitano, that's really the only cheese I reach for. I have sampled a couple other I have sampled a couple other a couple other varieties of cheese from my grocery, but I always just come back to this. I've tried a few other things. I tried a goat cheese. I tried this one that had habanero pepper and cranberry blended into it. Um, I've tried a couple Swiss or Swiss adjacent varieties, and most of them I just don't like. I just always end up coming back. I just always end up coming back to this one. Sounds delicious. I mean, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. Like even though this isn't this garlic and herb isn't my favorite variety of this cheese. If I'd never had the other ones, I would be raving about this. I would be raving about this still. I don't tend to like infused cheeses, EpiPen says, but around St. Patrick's, I can often find a pesto infused green cheese. I've been buying more and more of every time I find it. I don't know that I've ever even tried pesto. I mean, other cheeses that I like, that I wouldn't, I don't necessarily sit around snacking on them all that often, but other, like, you know, like I like pepper jack and Colby jack. I like Gouda. I like cheddar. I like, I like American cheese on a burger or grilled cheese. I don't really like, I don't really like goat or sheep cheeses. Um, I don't really like soft cheeses. Um, I don't like Swiss. I love Swiss cheese is aesthetically wonderful. I love the appearance of a nice wedge of Swiss cheese. It looks beautiful, but I don't like the taste of Swiss cheese. Game and Fit can't get enough of Swiss. Pesto implies basil. It was infused with a kind of Monterey Jack texture. Yeah. I'm having an inordinate amount of trouble in the bog. I did make it out briefly. We were out of the bog for a minute. So it's not just the bog that's giving me trouble, it's everything. Got myself a little bit of a sunburn today. I'll be looking like Fabio in a week, Game and Fit says. Fortunately, I've managed to avoid sunburn for a very long time. It's been a long time since I've had any serious sunburn. Basil is probably the healthiest food on the planet, EpiPen says. I found zero bad things about it. It's a super duper food and it tastes good too. Triple threat. I enjoy basil. I like to make a Thai style stir fry that is very very basil forward. I hear a very strange noise coming from parts of the house. I think it's the dishwasher. At least I hope that's all it is. Back to the bottom of the bog. Back to the bottom of the bog we go. You don't have to. You don't have to persuade me. I've already bought my ticket to ride on the Basil train. Holy basil supplement. We both have calm and vivid dreams, so we take it before bed. That might be worth trying. A nighttime supplement of holy basil. I can't tell you the exact benefits of certain foods, but I can tell you if it's a healthy food or not. I can also safely say things like the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, has some truth to it. Especially if you hit him right here with it, Game and Fit. I recall seeing a little comic on the internet once that was a guy on the telephone with a doctor. He says, "Doctor, I need some help. What seems to be your problem?" "Well, I was eating this apple, and you eat apples often?" "At least one a day, doctor." "You're on your own." Fantastic. Fantastic little comic. It sticks with me. I just love the punchy ending of the doctor. "You're on your own." Uh, oh no. Learned a lot of otherwise healthy foods are bad for you if you get kidney stones, EpiPen says. And for kidney disease if you have it. Anything green is usually bad for kidneys. It's almost always a trade-off system. A trade-off with one food or the other. Oh, what's worse than biting into an apple and finding a worm? Half a worm. Classic. I look pretty sideways at almost all I look pretty sideways at almost all food and nutrition science, a lot of health science. Yeah, let's try and steer away from dark and edgy humor, please. I'm not especially interested in having that in the chat. Yeah, anti-humor. Almost everything high in fiber will give you kidney stones, is high in giving you kidney stones if you're susceptible. Nutrition science is the thing is, like most like so much food and nutrition science, it's just like meteorology. It seems so dubious. It was ready for Splatterhouse. Your next future Frownie should not repeat the phrase, past Frownie left me in the water, and I don't appreciate that. Yeah, but what do I care about that future Frownie guy anyway? What's that guy ever done for me? Seems to me that future Frownie is always just a mooching off of all of my hard work. Past Frownie and future Frownie. I don't like either of those guys. Oh, we're out for now. Keep in mind the bottom of the bog is always is the bottom of the bog is never more than just 2 falls away. What? What did Jump King say when he fell into the bog for the 104th time? Woo, 7 falling into the bog streak. uh, that's a very niche joke. I like it. Yeah, the snake boots. What the snake boots let you do is walk through deep terrain. Usually, you cannot walk if you're in a snowdrift or if you're in the sand of the bog underwater. You can only reposition yourself by jumping in those environments unless you wear the snake ring. It lets you move where you normally can't. But at the penalty of that is when you're wearing the snake ring, the entire universe is ice physics. Everything is slippery. So there's a benefit and a drawback to the snake ring. I discovered the drawback way before I discovered the benefit. So for the longest time, I thought the snake ring was just a troll item. I thought the whole purpose of the snake ring was to send you on a quest for a useless item. And it actually kind of was. Because the snake ring has no use in the DLC quest where you find it. The snake ring is only useful in DLC 2 or if you replay the first quest. Or if you do... Well, the snake ring is useful in DLC 1 if you play really, really badly. If you play really badly, it can be useful for a little while in DLC 1, but it's not really useful in DLC 1. It's mostly useful on replays because you actually keep your items from when you restart the game. The items you collect seem to all be pretty much permanent, unless you trade them in-game for another item. Who thought that 96 plus 1 equals 0? An alien engineer. Um... My roommate was storing spices in the cabinet, and we found out too late, and the whole thing was infested, Game and Fit says. Had to clean out the whole cabinet, do laundry for just about every item in our house, vacuum the floors and rugs, scrub the shelves. Oh. I'm sorry to hear about that. That sounds not pleasant. I'll sleep good tonight. My back is killing me. It's one of the finest benefits of hard work, right? The following rest is that much more restful. We get a lot of ants. We get a lot of ants in our yard during the warmer few months of the year, and we don't have a serious problem with them in the house, but you know, they do. One or two of them find their way in our house every couple of days. There's a little bit of a battle going on. I've been spraying poison around the foundation of the house every spring, and that seems to have worked pretty well for us thus far. But I am a little bit on alert. I really don't want them to establish a stronghold inside the house or the basement at any point. Hey Derek, welcome in. Hope you've had a wonderful Friday, my friend. I wish I had a reliable setup for those jumps, because the penalty is so harsh. That leads me to suspect there is no possible setup for those jumps up there, just because the penalty being so harsh indicates to me that they want you to fall at that particular point, but oh my goodness. I have a watch that uses motion to count my steps. Other than walking a short distance back and forth to do laundry, it says I got 13.7k steps. That's not steps, though. That's scrubbing and vacuuming. Oh. You have to remember to wear your watch on your ankle the next time you have to do heavy chores. Keep your step count accurate. Scrubbing and vacuuming is a legit workout, EpiPen says. Oh yeah. Look at how look at how buff Mr. Clean is. He just works out for fun. If I do a lot of cleaning, I cancel my workout for the day, EpiPen says. Hey, Christian Cool, welcome in. Thank you for the lurk. Eat a lot of protein and fruit, a little bit of whole grains and veggies. Veggies aren't food, they go with the food. They're the promissory note that food will soon arrive. Gaben Fit says. I like some vegetables. I really love broccoli. I always eat my broccoli with a little bit of butter, though, so I guess I don't really like broccoli. What I really like is butter, but I find broccoli to be a very acceptable butter delivery system. You wouldn't tell, but I work out every day, EpiPen says. Right on. Broccoli is good when cooked right, EpiPen says. Our parents didn't used to do that very well. I tend to overcook my broccoli. I kind of turn it into mush. A lot of the times. I'll still eat it like that, but it's not really how I, you know, it's not really the best. I need a really good, I need to get a really good, like, industrial-sized vegetable steamer. I think that would be a good addition to my kitchen. I've got little steamer baskets, but they're so small. They barely hold anything in them. Like they do they hold like one serving size of vegetables. It's not very they're not very conducive to making anything more than just a snack. I eat my veggies steamed, no sauces, no dressings. It's torture, Game and Vid says. It's a little rough. So far as like, I mean, I could eat a bowl of plain steamed veggies, and actually, you know what? If you put some carrots in there, I like plain steamed carrots, so like that could do a world of good. For my tastes. Steam, like if you just steamed up like cauliflower and broccoli and carrots, I could eat that plain. The carrots would cover for any of the shortcomings of the broccoli and cauliflower. If I see a salad, that's my cue to say food is coming. I'll stay right here. Yeah, and I like broccoli in a stir fry. I don't often use broccoli in stir fries that I make for myself, but it's good if I like get it at a restaurant or something. Bell pepper is typically my go-to veggie for a stir fry at home. Asparagus is great too. I love a roasted asparagus. And I'll eat pretty much any grilled vegetable. I love carrots at just about any cooking level, unless they're baby carrots, EpiPen says. Then I take it all back. I don't like raw carrots. For some reason, like, I mean, raw carrots taste fine. The problem with raw carrots is whenever I try to eat a raw carrot, it takes me like a month. There's something about raw carrots that I feel like I have to chew them for 6 days and 7 nights each bite before I can swallow it. It takes a lifetime to eat a carrot. Bugs Bunny tricked me. Popeye tricked me. Popeye tricked me into trying to eat canned spinach as a kid. Big mistake. If you want to make pan-fried potatoes, give them a 10 minutes in the microwave first. That's a really good idea. I think I'll do that next time I make breakfast tacos. I'll give my potatoes a little zap. That's a good idea. Spinach is really bad for your kidneys, really healthy otherwise. Yeah, I don't use the microwave for a whole lot in general, so I don't tend to, it wouldn't have, I don't think it would have occurred to me. But, yeah, I'm gonna try my best to remember that tip. I don't really have anything against the microwave, it's just that I don't, tend to make a whole lot of, like, I don't tend to have, like, a whole lot of, like, things that need to be reheated. And that's like, my primary, like, thought of, like, what the microwave is useful for is reheating leftovers. Hey, Sark. Welcome in. I'm back down here again. I climbed my way back up to the, I climbed my way back up to the cats. I was back up there, I don't know. I was back up there Wednesday night, I think, but before the night was over, I'd taken the plunge again. I reached a new PB. I reached a new height before I fell, so that was nice. It was almost a really good night. I hope your mental state is hanging in there. Spirits, the spirit's still high. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Things may hurt in the moment, but I know I'm going to win, and that helps a lot. Spirits are high, elevations are low. Chef Mike is my personal chef, Game and Fit says. He does exactly what I tell him to do. I'm not advocating for being a microwave chef, but potatoes are softened well. Cooking crab or shrimp also goes really well in the microwave. That's straight up something I learned from Good Eats, and it's legit. Usually we'll cook ears of corn in the microwave. Microwave gets a bit of use with ears of corn, and I use it to thaw frozen peas. That's actually probably the thing I use the microwave for the most. Is for frozen peas. I started another hard game and thought to myself, I think you might want to try Super Meat Boy Forever. Super Meat Boy Forever is a possibility. I'm not I don't have any concrete plans to play it, but I did really love the original Super Meat Boy, so it's possible I'd pick that up one day. I know it's not quite the same as the first, but I'd still be willing to give it a try. You think it's in line with the way I play games? Badly? I do love the process of puzzling out how to do something. That is well, I don't love all moments of that process. I love the end of that process. I love being confronted with something I can't figure out when I do eventually figure it out. But the figuring it out stage is usually not that much fun. But it's worth it to endure that part to get to the moment of realization. Alton Brown advocates that microwaving blue crab in shell is the best way to cook them because of the way microwaves heat food, EpiPen says. I've never made crab for myself. No. See, the great thing about losing my progress over and over and over again is that the longer my first playthrough takes, the more practice I have for that no fall run that we're never going to do. So I imagine that no fall in this game is maybe not as bad as it sounds. I don't exactly know for sure how it would be calculated, but like I imagine that only if the situation is such that only the times when you splat, like when Jump King is face plants, if only those count as a fall, well, that wouldn't be the case, because when you fall into water, you don't splat, and that's gotta count as a fall. But I was gonna say, if only face plants count as a fall, then no fall wouldn't be that bad. Like, if you could miss a jump, but it still not technically be a fall. But I don't think it would work that way, because yeah, a fall into water, it must still count as a fall, even though the effect is similar to just a missed jump. I don't know though. I don't know. I've never checked to see what increments the fall counter. Oh yeah, 50, 18. Yeah, so see that this doesn't count as a fall. That actually could be the case. I don't know. How would I simulate? Well, I don't want to do it right now. I want to simulate a situation like a fall, so I could see what increments the counter. Yeah, that didn't increment it, and that was definitely a fall. But I mean, it wasn't a fall; it was a missed jump. So it might be that only a face plant. If only a face plant is a fall, then no fall is still bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as bad as it seems. I need to remember, if I fall into the water, I need to remember to check to see if that increments the fall counter. It might not. I've got to give you props because your channel the last couple of days was an accompaniment to some projects I was doing after hours at work and helped keep me going. Hey, thank you, EpiPen. Glad to be here to help you out. Glad to have you here to keep me company. No. Well, that incremented it 3 times there since the last time I checked. And that one. I met with my boss and got him to shut up and listen and got mad kudos. So it was nice to have something to keep me motivated. Right on. Sorry, I don't really like pausing super frequently, but I'm trying to educate myself on the falls. I said I worked the same way you gamed the other day, and you said by knowing nothing and failing your way to the top, and yeah, kind of agree. It's really the only way I know how to operate in the world. I was just kind of... just kind of walk around with a completely empty head most of the day, and somehow get lucky enough to blunder my way upward every now and then. Oh, you do faceplant in the water. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, I think it's really only things that make you faceplant that count as falls. It's not really a fall until that moment. Interesting. Every step of the way in my career has been promising I would get something done and then working off hours to pull it off and then acting like it was nothing. All the times I brought down entire websites and nobody knew because I staged the environment after hours. My whole IT career is not through school or education. It's because we were pretty broke when I was growing up, and I figured out how to get free movies and music when I was a kid, because my parents wouldn't buy it for me. Learning how to do so wound up being the key to all these IT skills you need in enterprise environments, EpiPen says. When I talk about that in interviews, I almost always get second interviews. Since I'm always afraid someone's going to figure out I don't know anything, EpiPen says, I try to figure out everything, but people that went to school for, say, SQL, they'll be like, no, that's not my job, I do this. So I never know where to draw the line, and I know so much stuff for saying yes to everything. I like to think. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot I don't know. That's not the part that I like to think about. But there's a lot that I don't know. But I like to think that I can that I have the capacity for figuring out or learning most stuff that I apply myself to. So if there's, you know, my lack of built-in knowledge. Maybe doesn't get in my way so much as long as I am confident in my ability to learn. I think we have, a lot of ways, I think we have the same skill fundamentally. I am an awfully slow learner, though. While I like to think there are a few things I can't learn, I do learn rather slowly. I'm also a slow learner, but when I learn, I learn. That I can relate to. Especially, you know, especially in the context of, in the context of video games. Like, it always takes me forever to beat anything for the first time. But then after I do, like, it's locked in, and I can do it really well the second time. Typically. Teach after I learn to reinforce when possible. Slow learning isn't the worst, Derek says. No, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself. I mean, you know, of course, I think because, like, you know, because it takes me longer to learn things, I think that the things I do learn tend to stick with me better. With less, like, after the fact effort at retention. But it can be aggravating during the learning process. During the learning process. I don't necessarily think I would want the reverse of figuring everything out really quickly, but having none of it stick with me. I don't think that it would be worth it to trade for that. The point is, I've spent hours trying and failing over and over until I succeed. I had a thought to share, but it ran away from me. If you make a promise and keep a promise, that is not a lie. Oh, what an unproductive night. What an unproductive night this is, of Jump King, this is. It's basically as bad as it could possibly go. I'm guessing that's the guy at the bottom of the bog asking me to telling me to sit down. Yeah. That guy at the bottom of the bog makes me think of it makes me think of the one of the test chambers in the game Portal, where Gladys repeatedly tells you that the test chamber is broken and therefore impossible to solve, and not to waste your time with it over and over again. And turns out to be a lie. And then she, when you do eventually solve it, she congratulates you for persevering in an environment of extreme negativity or something like that. Like, every time I see that guy down there, he's such a downer. It makes me think of that. The ghost of the babe is not a lie. EpiPen says, I was in a little tiny computer shop. This lady was scared. I said, don't worry about a thing. I'm the very best there is. She looked at me and stopped crying and said, okay, I believe you. And I was like, oh, I just made a promise to this lady. But I realized if someone can do what she needed, I can. And I'll do the best of my abilities. I'm likely to pull it off. Long story short, I got her pictures of her grandkids back to her, right? Win, win, win. I realized that day I made a promise and kept it. Right on. That's a very wholesome story, EpiPen. I like it. And encouraging. Get out of the water and change games. I understand the mentality, being at the bottom and all. Oh. I can't let anybody get into my head. Undecided if I like what Bella Vitano does or not, Zergling says. It isn't bad or anything, just so pungent, strong, and it falls apart easier than I'd like. It does tend to be rather crumbly. If you freeze it and thaw it out, it becomes extremely crumbly. It basically like collapses into like powdered cheese. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but it is extremely crumbly if you freeze it and then thaw it back out. It's a really strong, like I do agree it's a pretty strong cheese. I mean, it's stronger than any it's probably not the strongest cheese out there, but it's probably the strongest cheese I eat. But I don't find it I don't what's the word? I was gonna say I don't find it abrasive, but that's not really the word that I'm reaching for. I don't know. It reminds me a lot. It reminds me a lot of Parmesan. I think if I hit the bog again, I'm going to try and climb out, and then I'm probably going to be done with Jump King for the night. Unless, I said, unless we beat our challenge in Splatterhouse 2, then we'll play more Jump King if we do that quickly enough, but I don't expect that to happen. I don't expect to do well in Splatterhouse after having not played it for so long, especially. I think tonight is just gonna be not my night with Jump King. I thought I was going to get caught on the corner of that thing. Oh my goodness. Well, we're back in the bog. I have no idea what you're getting at, EpiPen, but again, let's dial it back a little bit, okay? Don't stay in the water. Yeah, yeah. Well, I was saying I was gonna stop the next time I hit the bog, but we got out of it real quickly, so I was like, well, maybe I'll make that a lie. Best lie. I fully support the progress and and fully your faults. I feel like it's like my karma coming back to me when people tell me that they cheer for my falls in this game. Because I'm on record as admitting that when I watch someone play through Super Ghouls and Ghosts, I root for the game more than the player. So I kind of deserve people rooting for my falls in this game. No! I'm my own worst enemy. I'm my own worst enemy. I really want to make it back up to the cats. I really want to make it back up there. I just don't think I have it in me tonight. No. Held that jump way too long. That's infuriating. I'm very mad at that fall. Oh, I'm very mad at this fall. I thought, wow, I thought it was as bad as it was gonna get, and then, I'm seething with rage. So if I remember this right, in Jet Force Gemini, there are 2 arcade machines in that game, right? And both of them are these there's a top-down single track racing game. There's one track, one race. This is the whole game. Very simple, straightforward. And the thing is, like, because it's a race, like, you come in place, like, 1 through 4. And So you can look at it like you have two objectives, right? Or, you know, one of two objectives. Because it also records your time for the race. And it ranks you based on that. Actually. But when you do the race and you want to come in first place. That's objective 1, and or you want to beat the best time. On one of the machines it was 30 seconds, and the other machine it was 40 seconds. But here's the thing. So on machine number 1, and if you meet your objective, you unlock a bonus feature in the larger game itself, for multiplayer actually. So all the bonus stuff was useless to me in Jet Force Gemini. But you want to unlock it, you know, just because it's there, right? But on Arcade Machine 1, you come in first place in the race, you unlock a multiplayer secret. So you get the prize, the larger game prize, just for coming in first place. Then, you beat the best time, you beat 30 seconds, nothing happens. So, even though that's harder, even though it's the harder goal, you get no reward for it. On machine number 2, you come in first place on the race, nothing happens. The only way to get the prize for the second machine is to beat the best time. I don't know why the objectives are inconsistent across the two machines. Otherwise, they're identical. They're two levels out of the same game, each machine. It's maddening. I can't think of any good reason why they reward you for one criteria on one machine and the other criteria on the other. Because that's either going to lead you to just feeling robbed on the second machine, or it's going to lead you ultimately to feeling robbed either way. Just because, like, you don't understand the best time mechanic, maybe, and then you feel like the second machine cheated you when you get first place. Or you figure it out and you go back to the first machine and get the best time on it for no reason. I can't imagine that. Like, whoever designed that part of the game at Rare, like, if I could sit them down and ask them about what neurons misfired in their brain and led them to make that decision. If I could ask them to explain themselves, I can't imagine what they would tell me. There's a lot of stuff like that in that game, though. That game is very... Jet Force Gemini is a very asymmetric game. It's very... I think, yeah, it's very asymmetric. Because those, like, the arcade machine objectives don't line up. And then, like, when you just look at the map for the game, it's like... There are three branches. There are three branches in the map. And one of the branches has 3 secret areas. One of the branches has 1 secret area. And one of the branches has 0 secret areas. You would think that each branch of the map would have, you know, a relatively similar number of secret areas. They could have just shuffled one of them onto the other. Like if it were 2-1-1, like that would make a lot more. Like that's a lot more balanced than 3-1-0. It's just, imbalanced. That's a good way to think about that game. It's very imbalanced. And I don't know why it's like that. Like, the different people work on each area of the map, and, like, you know, one person was an overachiever, and one person was, like, super lazy and did all their work, like, the night before it was due. Like, maybe that's it. Okay, now that was undeniably like a real trip to the bog. We were really bogged down. I'm gonna say that's the trip that kills the attempt for the night. I'm gonna say we're done with Jump King for the night. Probably. I'm gonna step away briefly for a very short BRB, and we will switch to the Sega Genesis. We're going to play Splatterhouse 2 for the rest of the night. We're going to kind of de-rest with that game, and maybe make a few attempts at our challenge run for Splatterhouse 2 that I haven't accomplished yet. If I somehow miraculously get the run we're aiming for, like, in 30 minutes, we'll come back to Jump King. I don't think that that's possible at all. But I'm just saying, okay. I'll stack, you know, I'll stack bad, like, I'll bet on my bad luck. If I make the prize I want less desirable, maybe I'm more likely to get it, is like the thought process, right? If getting the run means I have to play more Jump King, then maybe maybe it's more likely that I get it. But yeah, let me step away briefly. I'll be back with you in just a moment, my friends. Thank you for being with me so far tonight. See you soon.